Rinnai Infinity 26 Touch.
We're ready to go, as you say, a much anticipated game here. We're seeing the two premiership likelies here tonight at the MCG. Forecast crowd of 63,000 from the MCC tonight. Hold on Puopolo there against Laidler.
I think that might be, they're playing on here with Hodge.
And Roughhead with some good hands. No, there has been some rain here early, but no further rain forecast.
Interesting to me, Richo, sorry that they went through Laidler first up. I get the feeling, as good as this Sydney side is, they're going to try and attack a few of their defenders one-on-one, and Laidler might be one they try and go through.
Now, but Roughhead has stepped across twice to his left. The umpire should just call play on when he does that. He's trying to decrease the angle. The umpire said, no, get back. And then he did it again. I'd just call play on. Jared Roughhead straight through the middle. Hawthorn with the first.
Oh, and he's into Bud. That's what we like. What a great start in your 200th game. Just one of the most versatile players in the game, if not the most versatile for a man of his size. He takes it on the lead there, kicks truly. He can go into the centre bounce, and at ground level, Das, it's hard to see a better player, maybe Franklin. But at ground level, he's unstoppable as well, the big Rough.
What about Rough going 200? He's cracking jokes running through the banner. He's having a laugh with the umpire tossing the coin. He's into his best mate, Bud. No. They were drafted the same year together. You'd like to be that relaxed, wouldn't you, at the MCG, in the biggest home and away game we've seen for a long while?
It was interesting at that first centre bounce. Franklin came up to the line and tried to get involved. Gibson just sat back. He said, I'm not going to go with you, buddy.
Back in the middle to go again. So a lively start here for the Hawks. Hodge, second touch already for the skipper, and a little neat touch there as well. Mitchell, the extractor, out of the middle. Here's Rampy and Puopolo. Have his hands full tonight, will Rampy? Let's get down to Cameron Ling.
Well, one of the matchups on this near wing, you can see at the bottom of your screen there, Bradley Hill versus Lewis Jetta, just both running machines. They're going to play a huge part in tonight's game because we know both teams. I mentioned Josh Kennedy, Hawthorn have got Sam Mitchell. Their in-close players are good. That outside speed could be the difference tonight.
McAvoy in amongst that.
Oh, come out, Donis. Come out.
And Buddy organising things there. He's just setting up behind the play here.
And they really tried to orchestrate Josh Gibson onto him. Stratton had him for a minute. He said, no, Gibbo, whenever you're in the area, Buddy's your man.
The further up the ground Buddy's going, Gibbo's not going all the way with him. You can tell he's going to sit back and try and pick him up on the way through.
Another former Hawthorn player given a fair and square tackle there by Jared Roughhead and Benny McGlynn. Poor throw in. Mike Pike got the advantage of that. Mitchell clambered in a high tackle. A little unlucky there, Grundy. Perhaps not. So Mitchell will kick, I reckon, from certainly within his range.
Well, what a good start this will be for the Hawks. The first two goals, they're the best attack in the competition. We know that. They've got three players over 40 goals in Gunston, Bruce and Roughhead. The Swans are the best defence.
And he comes, gone with the left side of the body, of course, ambidextrous, but went with the left side, didn't feel confident on the right.
That is extraordinary. How many players? Leon Cameron's probably the only player, the now GWS coach I know, that is capable of having a set shot with his opposite foot. You rarely see that.
Of course, left foot is his natural foot. He was turned into a right footer as a junior, but he actually started as a true left footer.
Is that right?
Yep, that is right. So it's just an incredible talent, isn't it, too?
Well, guys, just sorry to jump in. One boundary umpire here has called this one touched over the line. Another one's called it out on the full. They're going to throw it in, though.
Touch out of bounds. Wait for him. Just wait, Johnny. Johnny.
Well, I think it's probably touched.
Clearly touched, yeah.
Yep. From that.
Good look at Josh Gibson, spoiling technique. He's got an amazing ability to time the fist to the ball.
Beautiful pick-up by Reid on the half volley. McGlynn couldn't quite handle it.
Play on.
Trying to force his way through there was Stratton. Eventually Kennedy around the body with his first touch of the night. Pushed under the ball, Cunningham. Look away handball, Burgoyne, excellent. They get sucking on his favoured left side. McAvoy will want to give it back, and then the Shepherd as well. The handball was brilliant to another left footer. Lewis in the middle straightens him up. Roughhead probably could have gone, but he let Richards go.
One of the things the Swans have been better at than any team in the competition in this 12-game winning streak is their pressure. And they'll be really backing themselves in through that middle part of the ground and make sure the Hawthorn players are always under constant pressure. They haven't quite been at the top of their game. We're only nearly 5 minutes into this first quarter, but they are very, very good at that part of the game.
Grundy, look at the open space here for Richards. Immediately to the wing where there's more space for the fleet-footed Cunningham. He's able to go without pressure. Long. Here's Franklin. He's got the match up with Litherland. He would have liked that. Almost a certainty to run and play on from here.
Great transition from the Hawks.
So umpire sorting them out, but he will face the middle of the ground, I would have thought. And here he is turning now to the middle, and then a controlled couple of steps, and the snap around the body may have got it too early. He did just a little bit too far out for that, perhaps. But he knows best.
I've spoken about that part of the game for Buddy Rich. I think he's taken it to another level. His one-on-one marking in 2014 has been as good as it's been almost ever.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why some people are saying he's in career best form, because his contested marking this year, I believe, is the best of his career. And we know everything else that he can do.
Well, it was certainly never a strong part of his game, and now it is. Here he is again.
Well, he's taken 2 marks now, and Gibson's been nowhere near him on either of those occasions.
And he loves this part of the MCG, this part of any ground. It's an extraordinary ability, BT, to get it from here, left to right.
Let's have a look at him. Strangely enough, comfortable on this side. Franklin starts towards the boundary and it stays there. So Mitchell, his former skipper. A few quiet words.
Mitch likes to have a bit of a chat out there. Don't worry about that.
I wonder if they've been distracted by the presence of Buddy Hawthorn a little. I mean, we'll know the answer to that as the game goes on, but just looks like they're using a lot of energy directed towards him. Here's McGlynn and Kennedy combining. Kennedy again at Chesler. It was a good kick. Reed slipped over. Otherwise, he would have had a certain mark outside. Burgoyne, Hodge. Great handball from Hodge. Really good release. Lewis, Rowan with the smother. Spills to Bird. All Hawthorn players back, although McGlynn got some hands on it. Gibson goes in hard. He must get rid of it now, Gibson. He does. Shields was there. Bird again. Handle it a lot. Tippett. Let it go the moment he had it. And ball pinned in.
How good that forward pressure from the Sydney Swans. That will be their absolute A-grade plan. Brilliant stuff there from Rowan. They got another repeat inside 50. That'll be the thing I think that'll be top of the whiteboard tonight.
Straight back.
Umpire Chris Donlan there. Reed against McAvoy. Parker. Good tackle. Stratton. Now Hill back into the side. Loosish handball. Melcheski. And they will welcome this guy's return because they really have missed his run, haven't they? Brad Hill.
They certainly have. Him and Isaac Smith, when they're up and running, it just gives the Hawthorn team another dimension.
And if they're both there, it means you've got to look at them both. Well,
it was an area they have been criticised a little bit. I know they're the best team in the comp, the reigning premier, but if there were ever questions about Hawthorn, it was that outside run, but Smith's gone to another level, and so has Brad Hill.
And when Hill's not there, all of the focus goes on their true runner and Isaac Smith. Here is Mitchell through some traffic. Wasn't his best effort. Smith in the middle for Sydney. They're underrated defenders.
Never gets beaten, Smith.
No, just gets the job done without fast. Grundy just peeling off and buying a bit more time to McVeigh.
That's a really good couple of minutes here for the Sydney Swans. They haven't allowed Hawthorn to clear it past the centre of the ground. They've had a couple of turnover kicks, and they're just maintaining possession nicely.
McVeigh down the line. Reed tried to come over the top. Now Gibson. Kick out wide, but as you say, Sydney is set up nicely at the moment, Das.
You mentioned Nick Smith, guys. He's got the job on Luke Bruce. We know how good a year Luke Bruce has had. He's already kicked the 42 goals, so huge role for him. The other one that I'm just keeping an eye on at the moment is looks like Jonathan Simpkin is playing as a defensive forward on Nick Melcheski. They're trying to stop that Sydney halfback run that they're so good at.
nudge out there. Umpire said it was legitimate against Stratton, and now he comes back for a second go. Did well to knock it in favour of Gibson. He controlled, absorbing the bump was Suckling. Hodge has been in the middle of most things Hawthorn's way so far. So is this man Lewis. Little outside footy. Finds an opportunity now for Hawthorn to work forward. Picked up by Shields from outside 50. Rough head in the square. Grundy over the top.
Yeah, rough had Teddy Richards done then. Great effort by Grundy to come over the top. They're not obsessed with that Gibson-Franklin matchup. They're happy to roll it over and let Gibbo come off and support the rest of the defence. Clarko said pre-match they will roll different players through Franklin.
Goods, first opportunity. Suckling got in the way. Goods able to recover. Jeddah. Pirouette out of trouble. Strange-looking handball. Almost a throw there. Goods couldn't control it at ground level. Now Birchall gives it to Hill. Hill thought about the boundary line. Nothing there, so had to pull it back in. McAvoy flew, couldn't hold the mark. Richards now. Parker, McGlynn combining. McVeigh on the hop has got the runner out wide, and here they go. Sydney. An opportunity here with Lloyd. Lloyd to Buddy, and Buddy has found some space again.
Yeah, and young Angus Litherland, he got caught in no man's land there. He half went to go and attack the ball carrier, and then he realised Buddy was out behind him, and too much space for the star in Buddy. He'll cut you up if you give him that amount of room.
Well, it's a team defence down there at the moment. As I said, they're not worried about Gibson just being on Franklin 100% of the time.
This is his perfect distance for goal number 48, and he just launches that absolutely magnificently, Buddy Franklin. So he's enjoying that moment. Hawthorn supporters wouldn't, but they are.
Yeah, so just a little bit of extra strut back for Buddy, and this is a really good look at. He got in behind Litherland. Litherland's going, the ball's coming, I'll go forward, I'll go forward. Oh no, I'm going to get absolutely burnt out the back, and that is just too much space. So
he just got caught in two minds.
He did, didn't he? He had to commit one way or the other, or stay on his man, didn't he, Richo? And they're so good normally at organising the defence. I've just had a couple of moments where it's got out of whack a bit.
So Hawthorn 1-2-8, Buddy 1-2-8.
Well, he's on. 3 marks inside 50 already.
He is indeed. He's finding space and enjoying it down there at the moment. Here's Parker on to McVeigh. Plenty of opportunities provided. This time he's caught behind Franklin, but he made some late ground on Gibson. Did well to move it to Cunningham. Cunningham gets a straightening ball. Now Goods is under this. Isaac Smith flew. Jack stayed down. Now Bird. Did well, the big fella Segler. Really well. Have a look at this. He made some late ground on him. One stage there, I thought, well, Gibson probably thought he was going to have some clean, easy footy. Reed again doing all of the forward end ruck work at the moment. We're going down the line. Rampy with a bit of a hold there on Gunston.
Tonight's one of those nights, show BT and Lingy, where every eye in the footy world is on. Every player will be sitting down, even if you don't normally watch Saturday night footy, you'll be tuning in just to see who's the benchmarks. Lots of tweets coming through. Bernie Vents just said, did I just see Sam Mitchell have a set shot on his left foot? Yes, you did, Bernie. Scotty Pendlebury getting involved, wishing Ruffy all the best for 200 games.
Gibson, little jittery there. Lewis. By Matty Nichols in control there. Beautiful kick to Hill in the middle. Scott Puopolo on the run is Birchall. Decided to give, had to give it off to Segler, who was standing still. An ordinary kick then. Just that last component going forward. Running past it is Richards. Bruce went for the hook when the drop punt was on there.
That, to me, Richo, is going to be the most important part of the game tonight, is which team kicks the ball better inside 50. We saw Sydney win the grand final, an upset win over Hawthorn in 2012. They just bombed it too high, and Richards and Grundy, they'll clean you up every time. But when Hawthorn go low and hard and smart and get them on the lead, that's where they can open the Swans up a bit.
First spell for Buddy coming at the 14-minute mark. We'll take one rest a quarter, I would imagine. Puopolo to Lewis. Had plenty of the footy, Jordan Lewis. He's 6 disposal already. Now, Roughhead just out of his range here. Into the middle, looking for and finding Isaac Smith. And he is a thumping kick of the footy, so this will have no fear for him.
That's what you're talking about right there, Dust. Didn't go back and bomb. There were plenty of numbers back. Rough just waited, and Smith bobs up. So exactly what you just pointed out.
For goal number 17 of the year, Isaac Smith from right on the line. That is a lovely, lovely kick from Isaac.
Nice kick by Isaac Smith. Kicked one of those in the grand final, a crucial one last year. So he likes that position. He's become an important player for this Hawthorn team, an absolute elite runner, but a really good user of the ball as well. And he's a much improved player this year. Gets better each season. Got a little black eye there, and I was talking to him before the game, courtesy of Jared Roughhead at training on Monday. He'd be flat with that.
Little black eye, a shiner you can see there, Isaac Smith, Richo, and you caught him pre-game. Yeah. What was he telling you?
He had a little incident with Ruffy at training on Monday. He said he was filthy. You don't want that happening at training, do you?
Mine, thank you.
McGlynn been in amongst most things in this first quarter. The relentless Kieran Jack, and another one, Kennedy. Loves that little flip handball to McGlynn. In close, doesn't he? Laidler got rid of it just in the nick of time. Look at the midfielders running forward here for Sydney. Jack sold the handball to Kennedy, then went the kick himself, got a reach over the top, and it was really well done by Stratton in front.
Yeah, terrific effort, Stratton. You don't want Tippett in a one-on-one situation because he'll mark it most times. So well done by Stratton to come in and help show makers.
Simpkin made that kick look really good. He worked hard. There's Mitchell on that left again.
It was a dangerous ball from Birchall, though, BT, to try and pick that off. Turnover, that was almost a certain goal. So you can see once the Swans push up on the kick, really see if they can turn the footy over in their forward half of the ground. They're not going to allow them to exit with ease.
Schoenmakers had the short option to Suckling, and now goes with a kick straight to Pike. That was poor play in the end by Schoenmakers. He had the chance to get it into the hands of their best kicker, and he denied him that opportunity.
And that's where they are susceptible. I think Sydney will feel like they can get inside their heads and get the Hawks defenders to take poor options, turn it over.
Very patient, aren't they? Buddy just off the bench. Drives it long. Reed setting himself here. Goods there, had to stand under it and wait. Tippett, talk about the big names. They're all there. All four of them are on the ground and now in the forward line the one time. Mitchell to Gibson, and now the run of Isaac Smith. Little poker ball, found Simpkin.
It's an encouraging sign for Josh Gibson, back from a massive amount of time out of the game. He looks really sharp.
He does.
I guess he's been able to do a lot of running. I know he had the shoulder injury, but he would have been able to get a lot of running in the last month. So he should be pretty fit. That won't be a concern.
Gunston, the give and go, and now drive. Roughhead did well working off his man.
He's just having a little chat to Will Langford saying, Will, you just can't bring your man back one-on-one. I've had my man beaten twice. You've just got to try and isolate, make sure that doesn't happen.
Pike double-hander park down, and Kennedy with the free.
Well, Josh Kennedy, we focused on him a little bit, of course, the record number of contested possessions in a game, but I reckon John Longmire's big concern this quarter is the fact that Sydney are down by 10 in contested possessions, something they pride themselves on, something they build their entire game on. They need to start winning the ball around the contest to be able to give their forwards a chance and deny the Hawthorn forwards.
So the forecast was 63,000. I'm tipping there's a lot more than that here at the moment. I reckon it's really built way above 70 or around the 70 mark. So that's good. All of the rain, it looks like, has disappeared on the radar. Isaac Smith to Mitchell.
Touch ball, touch, play on.
Heard the umpire's call. by Troy Pennell. In the meantime, Hawthorn go forward again. Once again in position, McAvoy, off hands, Puopolo, always dangerous, around the body, didn't get enough of it. So 6:40 remains in the first quarter. 3 goals kicked collectively. Rampy very nearly went there. Great down the ground look from our cameras. Rampy high ball. Cunningham tried to elevate. Stratton equalled him in the air, and it was well done. Now Jack tries to fend off on Langford, but he's a strong player, Langford. Around the corner, high footy. Buddy again gets rid of his man Gibson. I reckon he's winning that one very comfortably at the moment. Here's Tippett's first direct ball, and he doesn't let them down.
And that's the issue. He was one out. And if he's one out, he's not going to get outmarked. He's a massive man as he plays on.
And kicks around the corner and kicks true. So Sydney kicked their second goal.
It's a fairly handy play, isn't it? Yeah, bring into the side a couple of years ago, Kurt Tippett, who is a man mountain and just a brilliant one-on-one mark. And then the year after, you roll in Buddy Franklin, who might be the most talented running forward that we've seen ever, potentially, and they combine like that. That's what scares opposition sides. If they get up and running, good luck trying to stop it.
Just good use of the body there, and then a nice kick to the advantage. Have a look at this. That is a forward's dream. It was a metre to the side that Tippett wanted, and that's all you want. You just got to hold your ground then, and you just fall into the mark at the last minute. That's where Stratton, Gibson have got to try and get in, third man in.
Litherland had to stand under that.
I reckon big forwards kick really well to other big forwards, but he looked up and saw a one-on-one, didn't even hesitate because he knows it's exactly what he would want in the same situation.
So you're saying a midfielder might have wanted to present that
over finesse a little bit or wait for a lead, but you two have been down there before.
Point.
You just want it one out.
Absolutely, very good point. Laidler in amongst this. Mike Pike, Bruce. Got Puopolo there inside. Did well, Bruce. Realised who was chasing, and now Roughhead will get a set shot from 45.
Teddy, just back.
Yeah, nice kick. Absolutely nothing that Teddy Richards can do there. As we have a look at it, just weighted perfectly out in front of Ruff, and that's unstoppable.
So looking for goal number 42 of the season, Roughhead. From right on the line, it represents 50, and that looks pretty good as well. Just faded in its last moments of travel.
He's got a powerful leg. He doesn't need to get a lot of momentum, does he, to get the journey from 50, Ruff? He only has 4 or 5 steps in his approach.
There was a stage there a year or so back where he was only taking 2 or 3 steps, and you're right, doesn't appear to need momentum. 3 Hawthorn players there, and Buddy's got the free. So,
well, that's the risk there, guys, isn't it? Just in front of me, Buddy Franklin. They've become so conscious about him because he started the game well. They had that mark covered then, but just took their eye off the ball and took Buddy out.
I thought he was a faceless man, but he's taken a lot of Hawthorn's attention at the moment. Franklin to Mitchell, McGlynn like a little beaver in there. Now Litherland done well to hold his spot. I guess the question is, when they've got their full back line in with Lake, etc., whether he's still there then. Mitchell. Is that some rain falling out there now, Lingy? That was not forecast?
Yeah, no, it is, BT. Still fairly light, but it will make conditions slippery.
Roughhead in the middle.
Gibson's out here.
And he finds him. It was a good handball. Gibson wanted to get back on the left, and Laidler read it really well. Opportunity for Langford at ground level. Laidler had another crack. Grundy's there. Langford's there as well. So is Bird. Gibson, fast hands. Puopolo, can he get it over the top? No. There's the smother by Laidler. And he followed up to get the ball back after that. Melchesky, who's one of their very best kicks in defence, sets up many attacks. kick did not find the target. Having said all of that,
I think he was a bit spooked by Matty Nichols not paying that 15. That was pretty tough, I thought. Didn't expect that one to come back so quickly.
Thank you.
Gibbo's eyes would have lit up. MBT hasn't scored anything since he's been at Hawthorn in 92 games.
Hasn't registered a score.
Hasn't registered yet.
Play on.
Obviously doesn't get down there very often. He had a really good opportunity then.
Sydney players had to both go then. Hill left dangerously at ground level. Now Rampy to clear. Cunningham on the run here. Going to try and run him down as Birchley did well to work the angles and arrive first. Handball back to Smith. Smith can go backwards if he wants. Selects to go inside to Lewis. He eventually goes backward. Gee, the umpire, Troy Pennell, falling over backwards as well. And now big boy McAvoy.
The Swans are doing well is they're forcing the Hawks to flip a fair few handballs around at the moment. We've had more handballs than kicks, and we know they're a great kicking team. So the Swans working to a plan there.
Play on.
Litherland, long direct footy. Rough head over the back. Puopolo, who's looked dangerous so far without really hurting you. 2:17 remains.
Such a well-coached side, Hawthorn. They are really clever at sticking to Alistair Clarkson's plan. You can see there they're not going to go long unless it's really deep, I think, to a one-on-one or a two-on-two. They're really looking to try and just hit up that leading forward.
Boy, they're guarding the corridor from those kick-ins, the Hawks. All of their players centrally located, all on the corridor side of their men. As that one is punched near the boundary line, kept alive by Sydney. They can operate in a very, very congested area, Sydney. They're experts at it. Former Hawk, Benny McGlynn in game 139.
Lingy, is that the only hard tag? We're just having a look at Benny McGlynn running around with Mitchell. Is that the only one you've picked up?
Yeah, certainly in the midfield, Das, it is McGlynn on Mitchell. There's those other couple of matchups that are happening around the ground, but as far as midfield tags, McGlynn's doing the job on Mitchell. Mitchell started very well, had the 10 disposals already.
Simpkins doing a pretty good job on Malcheski so far. Lingy, you picked that up pretty early.
Back here, please.
Yeah, he's only kept Malcheski to 4 possessions, and there's none of that real run and rebounding 50 that we expect from Malcheski, so Simpkin doing well.
So a bit of a nil-all draw going on here at the moment, with both sides still feeling each other out and trying to work out where the weakness is and find a way through. And if this is a sign of the way things are going to go tonight, it is going to be tight come the end. Cunningham has found a little bit of space. Here's Gary Rowan right in the interchange area. For Sydney, methodical in their presentation here. That wasn't to the advantage of Buddy and Falcon. Stratton got back to help out. Gibson gives it dangerously to Lewis. Franklin could have almost got a free kick there. Now Malcheski under Langford pressure. Lloyd involved. Grundy, sharp hands. Really good to Bird. Ripping handball from Bird to Jeddah. Jeddah at full belt to tip it. How's that? He tapped it down and almost marked it between his legs. Big Tippo.
His hands full, that man there, Ryan Showmakers. His hands full, I should say. It's just a size issue, isn't it?
He's 201 centimetres, Das, and he's playing full forward. Look at the reach. That's just reach. Showmakers just couldn't get there. Look at that. His hands were at least a foot higher than Showmakers when he reached for that football.
Good effort. For consecutive goals, there is the shot. And thus the result. So just a couple of seconds left in the first quarter here.
6 marks inside 50 already for Sydney, so that is looking to be a little bit of a concern. They want to fix that up, the Hawks.
Gibson gets it out of defence as far as he can, and Malcheski sees it over the line, so we'll have this throw in, and that will be the end of the first quarter.
If they keep that up for the game, that amount of marks inside 50, they'll win the match, Sydney. So Hawthorn will need to just readjust at quarter time.
There it is, first quarter over. Very, very intriguing game of football. The two of the gun sides in the competition, and only 4 points separating them at the first break. Stay with us. This one's going to be a beauty.
What Brendan Bolton said there with Cameron Ling, it was the fact that there probably wasn't a lot of pressure, and there's the big fish. Paul Salmon in the crowd. Not enough pressure up the ground, which was allowing those quick transitions, and it gave the Swans those marks inside 50. So they'll be looking to improve their pressure through the middle in this second quarter.
There's the radar. It's all gone to the east of where we are, so maybe just the very, very light, odd bit of precipitation. When early in the middle did big boy McAvoy, Lewis.
Touch, plan!
Heard the umpire's call there. I reckon everyone can hear it. Several warnings now. Rough head trying to spin out of trouble. Segler to Langford. Langford handball over the top. Gunston's caught with a footy rolling out the back door. Safely to Richards. Another one touched, so this won't be a mark. On to Hodge. Thought about it for a moment. Pulled the kick. Now which way does he spin? Does he go the right way? And he went too far.
Come on, hey, come on.
Getting plenty of the footy inside 50. The big rough, 1 goal, 2. He's looking dangerous, though. Stratton started on Buddy this quarter, BT.
Okay, and he's called that one play on as well, Dars. That was a bit shorter than the other one, I reckon, but
Yeah, at least it's consistent.
yep. And ball into Jack, who was able to intercept there, and then he was tackled high by Stratton.
Can you go? Straight up now, boys. Move it on. Yours.
If they get it inside 50 quickly here, they've got a mismatch with Litherland and Franklin. Here it's going to go to him now.
Now, Kennedy goes long and deep, and Franklin trying for the same thing, and this time Litherland got a little worried about it and decided to hang on a little.
Well, it was great play by Franklin because Stratton was caught up the ground with that tackle, and Franklin just bolted back to the 50, and that's why this mismatch came about. And Litherland, that's what always happens when you're undersized, you panic and you hold on.
Richo, you picked it about 100 metres before it happened. You were waving your arms, you could just see, and Buddy knew exactly what was on too and demanded the footy.
To put Sydney in front for the first time tonight and bring up goal number 49. He's comfortable from there. That'll need to bend a lot, and it won't. Didn't quite get it, hung it out too far left, both in the ball drop and then the resultant area in which it passed through the goals.
Well, Richo, just before quarter time, gave the marks inside 50. Stat, it was 6-3 Sydney's way. Buddy's missed a couple, but if they keep conceding regular marks inside 50, Sydney at some point are going to kick a big enough score to win this one.
You. Hold. Hold, great play. You mate, you. Hold. Play on.
Shields downfield this one, so
Buddy just gave a little clip to Hodgie after the footy had left. Let's just have a look at that one. Not a lot in. I think Hodgie might have made the most of it.
Thanks. Time. Play on, mate.
Little giggle from Hodgie.
Play on now, you.
There's Hill. Goods tries to corral Hill. Beautiful little kick to Segler.
Hold, play on.
Segler looks for the run of Shields. Just unloaded it before the smother came in. Langford went over the top. Couldn't hold on Rampy. To Laidler. To Jack. Jack to Cunningham.
Play on.
Now Cunningham sees Tippett loose, but the kick didn't quite have the length, although he should have the reach, and he does.
But see, they got that fast transition again. The Hawks aren't slowing them down enough.
You, mate.
Tippett now to Franklin. They converge on him. 2 defenders up on him. Spent too long in the air there. Segler advances the ball. Down to Gunston. Great hands from Gunston. Hodge inside. Now Suckling can go over the top to Puopolo. Puopolo did well in the strength department. Now sends it forward, bound for the Hawks. And Bruce did real well against Smith.
He is an out-and-out star of the game, Luke Bruce. He's just a phenomenal player. He's so good one-on-one. Never, ever loses his feet. 42 goals, 5 he's kicked this year coming in, and that is just brilliant one-on-one football.
And he's playing on, I reckon, the best small defender in the comp, Nick Smith. He doesn't get beaten very often. And that was just a great contested mark.
25-metre kick here for Luke Proust. And to make it goal number 43 for the year, he does.
.43 goals 5 now. That's unbelievable.
Which is the sort of player, we've said this before, I can imagine if State of Origin footy was around, he'd be lining up playing and he'd dominate. The higher the standard, I think he'd just get better and better. Luke Proust, he's an unbelievably good player.
Alistair Clarkson absolutely loves this bloke, Paul Puopolo. It's for that reason there, the fact that he can win one-on-one contests in the forward half of the ground, so crucial. Got that ball in long to Bruce, ended up in the goal. Well done, Puopolo.
He actually said earlier in the year, Alistair Clarkson, that was one of the things that excites him when he sees Puopolo push off his man and win the footy. Litherland, Burgoyne, the best for Gibson, had to go down and get it. He did really well, though. Burgoyne to tidy that up, and here he is again. Puopolo, this time with Laidler. Grundy. Back to Richards, buys a bit of time. Have a look at the line-up down the middle here. Look at the way Hawthorn are guarding the corridor here.
Thanks, Luke.
Yeah, this is what Brendan Bolton was talking about at quarter time. They've been able to hold them up here now. Make them play slow, the Swans. Gives their defenders a chance.
Showing Makers, this time wins out. Suckling's kick's got to be good here. Gee, it was well placed to McAvoy. Didn't give Jetta any time to close at all. McAvoy on his non-preferred left, and Gunston just picked it up like he had it on a string. And then goes for the degree of difficulty kick, which was very high.
But that's why they're a good team. They're not scared to pull the trigger, go for that inboard kick.
Gibson. Smith outmanoeuvred there by Rowan.
He's got the footy. Sydney. Hold there.
So, biggest margin of the game at the moment, 10-point Hawthorn lead. Gives you an idea of how closely fought this one is. In all 12 of their wins this year, they have held the opposition at under 100 points, the Hawks. In all 4 of their losses, the opposition has kicked more than 100 points. Sure, I can see that happening here tonight. Litherland on the bottom will get a free here.
Right there. Kieran, play on. A 15, play on! Play on!
Burgoyne out the back. He saw only Litherland and he said, no, I'll go myself. And he did, but without accuracy.
No, play on.
There's Smith out the back door, and he sees something wide and finds Melcheski, who's got the run of Cunningham on if he wants. Ignores that around the corner. There's danger for the Hawks. Jetta to Franklin. Here comes Litherland, but Franklin too strong in the air.
His hands in that situation are absolutely as good, if not better, than they've ever been, but he really had a fair bit of force coming his way. It was almost set up to just take the body and smash him, but his arms are just really strong at the moment. I wouldn't have taken that mark 12 months ago, and it's a big, big contested grab.
Loves to start at left, buddy, so this is a tough kick for how he likes to start the footy. Loves to start it out in that direction, and with not a lot of space between he and the goal, it was never going to have time to come back.
Yeah, he kicked 2-7 when they played each other earlier in the year, but he's 7 points first up before he kicked 2 majors and 1-4. He's got this part of the game.
So that's a total of 3 goals, 11 against his old side this year.
Fine.
In the 1.5 games they've just about played. Great shot at the crowd before. Gee, it really has built here into a wonderful crowd. Just a little, perhaps sparse, just on the top left of your screen there in the Ponsford stand.
I think the members here too, BT, there's a fair few empty seats, but the rest of the stadium's pretty full.
Yep, AFL members on the southern side over there. Looks pretty good. Puopolo Fresh airy. Birds in amongst there. Didn't want to grab it, knew he'd be tackled the moment he did. Hodge, sneaky little handball. Now Lewis, long footy, forward bound. What have Hawthorn got down there at the moment? Simpkin to Gunston. Gunston run down by Rampy from behind. What a great tackle from Rampy.
Hey, go back in the kick. Jack, here. Let it go. Time. Play on.
A desperate lunge from Dane Rampy there. Saved what was a certain goal. Jetta with a drilling ball. Too low and too hard. Burgoyne shrugs the tackle. Goes long and deep. 2-on-1. Richards got back.
Hey, let it go. 50 metres, okay?
And 50 metres as well.
Jeez, that's a strange decision.
Why is it a 50?
Well, he gave away the free, but that's all he did.
Yeah, exactly. How can that be 50
So there's the
metres?
free. Oh, the little whack after that.
Okay.
Just a little medium coat hanger style operation. Here's Piopolo trying to go out wide to Hill. Hill's in the middle of two. Rampy is just desperate at the moment. G. Brewster rides late. What will Troy Pennell do?
Here, hold the ball. Dive on the footy. Dive on the footy. You're free.
There's a bit of heat's just going up in this game. Look at the Hawthorn fans getting involved and a little bit of going off the ball at the moment. You can't see.
Plenty of heat building here now. There's that vacant Ponsford stand there in the top of your screen. In the meantime, Mitchell flies. Laidler wanted the free. No one got anything. But Jack's handball to McGlynn. Beautiful little touch by McGlynn. Got it to Bird. Got to go good. He does. Able to break the tackle. Got the runner in Cunningham. Just couldn't hold his feet. And now Parker steadies the ship. Beautifully placed kick for Franklin. And this suits his left.
That was an outstanding kick. That was exactly where Franklin needed it. Put it to grass. There's nothing a defender can do in that situation.
Now, if Franklin takes one step to the left here, the umpire should just call play on.
Well, he had one of these down the other MPT, and he's going to do the same thing around the corner.
He is. He's a fair way out to do it. Have a look at how close Suckling is. I reckon they're letting the player on the side come too close.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I mean, the talented buddy is beyond anything almost we've seen, but I don't think he's summing that one up all that well. It's too far to get the bend.
Yeah. And he's got a bit of goal face to work with there, more front on. I just wonder whether,
Holding the man.
as you say, Darce, too far out for that.
Go, let's go. Just here. Back, please. Thank you. Time back on. Play on. You're back here.
Very experienced umpiring trio here tonight. Litherland got that one off the instep. That wasn't where he wanted it to go. Frustrations building here.
You, mate. Kip.
Smith backwards to Laidler.
Play on.
Laidler wide to Lloyd.
Thanks, Brent. Hold. Mate, okay.
Now Malcheski.
Lloyd still hasn't played in a losing game.
It's an
Jake Lloyd.
unbelievable arm wrestle at the moment, Richo. This is the two best attacking teams since round 9. They average 15 goals apiece between them, so we're expecting 30. We've had 5 so far, and we're not far away from half-time.
Move it on. Play on.
Been a real game of chess. McLean kick had to be good, and Parker did really well in the air.
Is he the most improved player in the comp, Parker?
He's good, isn't he?
Have to just about be.
One's not great. Segler got hands on it over the back. Buddy Franklin, left foot spin around goal. All in one. How about that? Buddy Franklin, stand and applaud.
Yeah, great call, BT. What a genius he is, that man, Richard.
7 shots a goal already.
At some point, if he gets that much ball, it's going to be the game changer. And he's got his eye in terms of just feeling really comfortable. 10 disposals, 7 shots. Just the 2 goals, but it's getting a little dangerous.
Gibbo just lost touch on him then. Had no idea where Franklin was. He's really building into this game.
So Franklin, magnificent around the body. Goal 629 puts him in the top 25 goal kickers now of all time. And his career is only, well, according to his contract, it's only just started.
He's got 9 years to go.
Exactly. He'll pass Plugger the way he's going.
I reckon he'll get to 1,000.
Goods, McGlynn, Bird, shrugging the tackle. Now the little soccer by McGlynn was effective to Reid. Reid to Goods. Goods a controlled kick, trying to draw Tippett to the footy, didn't quite work. Yep, the top 25 goal kickers of all time, Buddy Franklin. 629. And he's playing very, very good footy this year. He's kicked 49 for the year now.
It says a bit about his character, doesn't it, that he's been able to go up there. The first month of the year, he was under a bit of pressure. There were plenty of people prepared to have a whack at him. And he's just stuck to his guns and probably playing just about the best footy of his career.
Quick snap. I think it was Bird. I only got a brief look at him. And knocked through in the end. So closing Sydney. Under 8 minutes. Suckling went with a low bullet and Bruce had to tidy it up. So good at that, Bruce. You think they're going to nail him and somehow he squeezes out of it. Birchall pointing, gesturing to where he wants the Hawthorn forwards to run, but only McAvoy is there. Grundy edging him under the footy with every step he took. And Richards half went for McVeigh and half for the boundary line.
Hold the meter.
Nick Davis, the runner there for Sydney, has been doing a bit of work with Buddy, I think, Monday to Friday. Not sure what kind of work, but
been doing work with his goal kicking, I think.
Yeah.
Straight up. High tackle. Hey, Josh, right there. Thank you.
There's Gunston. He'll
Stay out, Jared.
be one of the options.
Thank you.
Langford just pops to the top of the square. Got muscled out of it there, Gunston. Got taken in a direction he really didn't want to go. So Hawthorn with a stoppage inside their 50. A lot of players around the footy. Goal apiece in the second quarter. Kennedy hasn't had his best night, been tightly held tonight. Brad Hill leading all comers here, although Cunningham's matching him at the moment. This is on the way to the bench. The former teammates. Mitchell.
He's got a hit out, Sammy Mitchell.
On the ruck work. Segler will need to get rid of this. He may well get penalised here.
It's been interesting to me tonight that they've been prepared to just get on the sledge with Buddy a bit. They've been pretty verbal. You saw Gibbo just on the way off. I thought they might have just decided, leave him alone. You know, no point in engaging and just sparking him up at all.
Some players, I don't reckon you sledge too much.
He'd be one, Richo.
Oh, I reckon. Just might leave him alone. You've got to pick your mark sometimes with the sledges.
Same again, guys.
I don't think it'd worry him.
Nah.
Mike Pike.
Holding his arm. Sydney. Locked on. Thank you. Play on.
Off to Smith. Beautiful kick to Tippett.
50.
Now, he'll have to kick at 55 here, Tippett. He has a good long kick, but this will really test him.
Yeah, mate.
Well, these are the ones where he tends to relax, doesn't he? He knows that the pressure's off.
51.
And he can sometimes strike these beautifully.
One he's got, but just a couple of metres short. So, scores for the second time tonight, all square. 26 apiece. Stratton.
Hold that plan.
Goes to Hodge. Hodge to Shields, and Shields to Burgoyne. All handballs there. Burgoyne back into Hodge. Not sure that one was needed. Trying to handball their way out of trouble here. Puopolo driven forward by Jack. And a free against Puopolo, high footy. Here comes Roughhead, McAvoy in front. Bird took him on, he had a look, had to get rid of it. Now Rowan. He'll want it back again, but Kennedy's in the middle here. Little left foot poker is good to Parker. Parker wide to McGlynn. Can he get around Litherland? He goes over the top. Tippett being held, it might go all the way from McGlynn, it does. Sydney hit the front.
Well, they've just clawed their way back, Sydney, and I think they are starting to feel like they have got the firepower here to pile on a few goals. Benny McGlynn, they've got the big options down there. He slid it through. He had Tippett one-on-one, which was looking really dangerous. He looks as though he's got hold of Shellmakers in the one-on-ones. Buddy's had 7 shots at goal. And just a couple of signs here that they're capable of piling on a big score here, Sydney.
Jump at the footy, guys.
Great goal by McGlynn, but it was that burst of Rowan out of the defensive 50 that set all this up. Players that can get the ball in traffic and burst out and break the game open, worth their weight in gold, and that was fantastic by Gary Rowan.
Actually came off the bench there, McGlynn, to be involved as well, so that's why there was no one near him. Franklin and Gibson go at it. Unlucky probably not to receive a free there. Birchall dispossessed by Lloyd.
Back the head. Fine. No. It's got to be protected. Up here.
Got to be protected, said Troy Pennell.
Yeah, we had the umpire. We could hear the umpire mics there really clearly. No, duck your head, said the non-officiating umpire. And then your player, who the umpire a bit closer, said, no, we've got to protect the head. So overruled there, essentially.
Play on.
Burgoyne defensively down the line, but Grundy there to mark, best judge. They queue up in the middle, but Hawthorn there to make sure there's no easy sideways footy. Grundy to Tippett, deep in the pocket. Stratton confronted him. Burgoyne. Now Hodge around the corners. He kicked it too far. He has out of bounds on the full, so it'll be a Laidler kick.
Lingy talked about the contested ball in the first quarter. The Hawks had a really good win. I think they were +10.
Have a look at this. The Hawthorn supporter holding them up there, hanging on to the footy, saying, no, you come and get it.
Yeah, well done.
Very, very cheeky, that. And very, very smart of that Hawthorn supporter, because if they'd gone quickly, it could have made a difference. Here's Stratton.
Play on.
Gibson and Tippett. Now McGlynn. Somehow Tippett out of there tries to bust his way out of that traffic. Gunston. Laidler did well to McGlynn. The little man McGlynn hits the post. Would have been the 3rd consecutive goal for Sydney.
Thanks, Shannon. Thank you.
Sean Makers dropping an easy one. Should have taken that. Now Lloyd. Fast hands. Here they come again. So they're really pressing here at the moment. Tippett. Burgoyne tried to move him under the footy, but he was just too big and strong.
Yes, and Ryan Shellmakers is unfortunately going to have a look at that one on the replay on Monday and not feel great about it. It was a regulation mark, and that's his opponent. And doesn't that hurt? Sean Burgoyne had no chance there against Tippett, who looks really dangerous, Richo.
And that's what happens on a kick-in, because you're in a zone, you're not on your direct opponent. It comes straight back in, and poor old Burgoyne has to match up on Tippett.
The last 7 scores have all been the Swans. Make that 8, and Tippett gets his 2nd.
Well, once again, it's marks inside 50. It's all Sydney's way. Tippett just looks like he's going to monster defenders in the one-on-one. Shellmaker is going to be very, very nervous. So 9-4. Is it Richo? Marks
9-4 for
the
game. So it's starting to take its toll, Das.
Sort out.
There they are, all the big guns, Goods and Franklin in amongst it. No Reid there, and Tippett has just gone to the bench for a spell as well.
Reid's having a little turn in the ruck here at the moment, and that's something he's probably going to do a bit more of with the firepower they've got. He's going to play different roles. But So all the momentum at the moment is with Sydney.
Their last 8 scores of the game, they lead by a game-high 13 points. Hawthorn led by as much as 10 earlier in this quarter.
Head to the back! Head to...
Now that could be 50. He's given him the benefit of the doubt here, Chris Donald.
First hand.
Yeah, we haven't seen those little technical ones paid for a while, and I feel like that one's not in the spirit of the way it's umpired at the moment.
See, McGlynn's playing well. His 13th touch of the footy, and here he goes to Buddy. That one a little high, over the back. Bird picks it up, has a ping, and across the face. Kicked the last 3 goals. Inside 50s for the night. Sydney 3 up there. Ball falling short again in the boundary throw-in. That's about 3 or 4 of them tonight. There's Bird, Goods. But he tried to gather some momentum coming through the stoppage there. Gunston really didn't want to knock it out of that situation.
This half-time siren cannot come quickly enough for Hawthorn at the moment. They are getting completely outplayed. Alistair Clarkson will really be keen to get a chance just to readdress the situation here.
So the 2 best sides in the competition, or 2 of the best, will have collectively kicked 8 goals between them to the major break.
I think that's been the big issue. Shellmakers looks as though he's just going to get dominated a bit by Tippett, but the amount of one-on-ones they've got inside 50 is very un-Hawthorn-like. They'll be wanting to rectify that in the second half.
Well, he goes the spiral. It's been 21 minutes since they've put any score on the board. Here's Puopolo. He said, "You're Laidler, and I'm Puopolo." They needed that big time.
That was sensational.
Puopolo.
Well, that kick from Lewis, it was a beauty. The big torp, and it went and skidded on. And once it was out into open space, you just knew Puopolo was going to have the leg speed.
And you can see Horse Longmire is turning to Stewie Dew and just saying, explain that. Why did you allow that to happen, Stewie? And Stewie's doing the right thing and just not saying anything back. But that's a massive goal because it's way against the run of play. It was a bit of a Hail Mary. Puopolo's individual brilliance there was great. I reckon they focused on Laidler a bit. I think they feel like they can turn him around. That's a brilliant effort.
Yeah, they haven't scored for 21 minutes, the Hawks, as you say, completely against the flow. And now Sydney to respond in the last half a minute of the half. Gibson, 4 deep, did well to nullify there. Here's Lloyd. Needs a clean gather to get around Suckling. Had the poise, even though being tackled, still to handball. Good pressure from Burgoyne. Although Lloyd was able to chip in, high balls one, and under enormous pressure is Simpkin. Dropped the mark he probably should have taken. McGlynn had a go. Mitchell, cool, did well. Just in the nick of time. Now Simpkin. Hawthorn need to be steady here.
Yeah, and steady they are with Luke Hodges gone loose man in defence. There may be no better player at that role, and they've done really well to hold on there, Hawthorn.
Have indeed. So that man has been pretty damn good here in the first half of football. And Sydney by just 7 points, 5-9-39 to Hawthorn 4-8-32. Here's Cameron Ling.
Well, Mac, a pleasing quarter of footy for you guys. Just weighted numbers, getting those repeat entries. Must be happy.
Yeah, look, that's what we want. You know, get that forward pressure out, and hopefully they quick kick it back to us. You know, first quarter contested footy and all that was down for us. So hopefully we got it back on a even level.
It's going to be a big second half, though, isn't it? There's going to be no easy footy out there.
Yeah, look, you can't make mistakes. You get punished, but you know, real mental game. You got to be switched on, organised. You can't slip for a minute, otherwise you get beat.
Thanks for your time, mate. Well, a ripping game of footy here, guys. Really enjoying it at the MCG. It's Sydney by 7 points.
Tonight, which will exceed expectations.
Great result, and I think the television audience tonight will be absolutely through the roof because this is a season-defining game, this one. 7-point margin at half-time. Hawthorn could go top of the ladder. Sydney could be 2 games clear, and the Hawks with a loss could be down as low as 5th. So it's absolutely, for me, season 2014 on the line here in the second half.
So can Sydney break that club record, recording their 13th consecutive victory? They are noses in front at the moment. And the first clearance from Bird to go with it out to the reliable Parker. Burgoyne there to keep him honest. Did really well, Burgoyne, to keep it alive and also snatch 20-odd metres. McVeigh just careful around the corner, caressed to Goods. Some foot candy by Goods, and now the direct footy. It was really well done, and the mark taken by Parker.
Had a pretty quiet first half for Luke Parker. Just 7 possessions and not a huge amount of input. But how about the starting forward line? It was that man Parker who's a star. McVeigh, Goods, Tippett and Buddy Franklin, they're starting 6.
Parker just short on the distance there. Tippett's marked it, or has he hung on? I don't think he has.
She nearly had it.
He certainly had it in the field of play, he just couldn't hold on.
Clarko would have hated that if he marked it. A mark on the goal line is not something coaches enjoy.
Gee, that was an uncharacteristic turnover from Jordan Lewis as well. McGlynn just with the one hand. The neat little kick trying to draw Tippett to the footy. Schoenmakers went without the footy, got rid of Tippett, did well. Needs not to panic here, but find someone with the footy, and it's going to come back. Reid, Richards.
Throw it in. He's going to kick and you knock it out.
Well, the umpire saying it was knocked out in the tackle. I don't think it was. I think it was just a clean let go of the footy. McAvoy. Franklin to McGlynn. McGlynn thought about it for a moment. Bird stand and deliver. Here comes Tippett. Got a good run at it. Knocked it into a dangerous spot. Goods. How about that for creativity from Adam Goods?
Oh, what a great snap by Adam Goods, but gee, they've got to start putting a bit more time into Benny McLean. He's causing havoc around that half-forward line. He is a great runner, and he's setting up so much ball. 6 inside 50. He's kicked a goal himself, and he put that ball in there. And gee, he's got so much class inside 50.
Straight back here. Straight back.
Look at this bit of genius from Adam Goods. Did he change feet? Oh, yeah. It's almost as though he was going to kick it with his right, and then he dropped it in a position where his left was in the right spot.
I reckon you're spot on, Das.
It's extraordinary.
Great stuff. Goods gives them the biggest lead of the game. 14-point margin now, and a clearance to go with that. Over the top, got to reach here. Goods, and a chance to go again because he's directly in front. 35 metres out is Adam Goods, and he's a very good kick.
Oh, this is a massive problem. The mark's inside 50, and this time it's Adam Goods. They've got so many options down there. You can't stop all of them. When you're getting clean centre breaks like that, your forwards get one-on-one opportunities. The clearances are getting a little bit out of hand as well.
For an even 20-point lead, he drills it. Adam Goods, 2 in a row. Sydney, 2 in a row.
Just have a look at that. Adam Goods as your 3rd or even 4th forward. If Reid's floating around, it's just an amazing amount of talent they have got. All up there in the forward half of the ground. There's talent right across the ground for Sydney, but they're going to cause so many headaches for defenders.
Nice kicking action. Didn't try and over-kick it when he was only 30 metres out. Used the 7-iron in golfing terms, but what a talented forward end it is. Just so many big names capable of destruction down there. McLean, who Richo said they need to get hold of because he's damaging at the moment.
Hawthorn have just thrown a few different things at Sydney now. They've got momentum. Jack Gunston has come up onto a wing onto Jared McVeigh. Sam Mitchell started as a forward, but pushed himself on ball just to empty out the forward line, have an extra number around the contest. So Hawks trying to wrestle the momentum back.
Kieran Jack.
Gee, they love this in tight stuff, Sydney, don't they? Jack sees Franklin out the corner of the eye, and he's marked so strongly above his head. And I tell you what, on the run, not beyond him, but
Hey, come on, bud. Come on.
he will have to kick it a genuine 65.
Another great mark from Buddy Franklin.
Love to see him go back and get some momentum.
15 gone, mate.
He's looking for something. The umpire says he's not fair dinkum.
Will he pop it up, or is he going to try and get there? It's a bit too far.
He goes wide, and here's Goods on the lead, and Adam Goods a chance for 3 goals in 4 minutes to break this one wide open.
Just back the wrong with me,
Gee,
please.
Clark, I'll be flat with that. They had so many numbers back.
Look at this, he didn't even have to push off. Litherland gave him a lot of space. Goods for 3 goals in 5 minutes of footy in the 3rd quarter. That one misses to the right. 21-point margin. Lewis. So really pressing now, Sydney. Great stuff by Jack. Kept it alive around the corner here. Goods.
Ben McGlynn, he's had the 16 disposals, 6 inside 50s, but he's also had 8 tackles. Just so important, those high half forwards, small forwards.
Bird. And a little knock through by Litherland. Sophie, the Hawks, what do you want to do here?
Well, I've got to start winning the footy in this 3rd quarter. You just saw the stats come up on your screen. They've had all the inside 50s to start the 3rd term, all the clearances from the centre, and all the play. So they've just got to get a bit of composure back here, Hawthorn, and that isn't going to help.
That's the direct opposite to composure. Here is Kennedy, goes for a low footy, and they are looking extremely dangerous.
Richo, you just mentioned Ben McGlynn. What they've done, or what he's done with the fact he's won so much of the footy, Sam Mitchell went forward. He didn't even go with him. He said, Sydney have said, well, you know what, McGlynn's having the bigger influence on the game. Stay around the footy.
14 of the last 15 scoring shots have been with Sydney here. They've kicked 5-9 to 1 goal with those 14 shots. Here's Puopolo from 55 metres out. A chance to do something positive on the scoreboard here, the Hawks. First time in the 2nd half that they've been deep inside their 50. Hill with a left foot kick, and Jetta got in the way of Brust.
And the Swans, when you kick the long ball, they just never, ever allow you one-on-one, and it was a big Canadian, then Pike, who came over the top. But as Richo has pointed out from the start, the big marks inside 50 Sydney's end. Goods gets involved in the 3rd quarter. Tippett's had one-on-one opportunities, and Buddy has been everywhere. It's the difference in the game.
Oh, Segler did really well to knock it out of the hands of Grundy and not infringe. That's really well done by Segler. It was always dangerous, was spent too long in the air. Gave Segler time to get there and affect the spoil, which he did really well. Now over the back to Mitchell, fast hands out the back to Shields, Suckling from the standing start. Tried to get the ball long and high. Didn't quite nail it. Rowan banged into his own teammate. Love to see that. Now Smith clearing footy to Jetta. Can he keep running? He'd love to. He gives it to McGlynn. Kick was just over the head. Litherland will use the boundary line as safety.
Holding the man. Hawthorn holding the man. Now.
A little bit sore, Will Langford got cannoned into behind the play, and Litherland stood up well there, but every time the Swans steam forward, you look up, you see Tippett one-on-one and Buddy one-on-one, and you get very, very nervous.
Simpkin back to Suckling. Suckling at a half-back. That's not 15. Paid it, though. Now Mitchell on the left, looking for Langford, who looked like he was in trouble a moment ago. Rowan went, so did Lewis. Little handball back to Langford. Fast hands to Mitchell. Takes on Rowan. Got the little kick away here. Here they go, Hawthorn. Positive stuff as they advance forward. Roughhead with the one-hander. One of the 3. Didn't make great connection either with the kick. Around the corner. A desperate Swans defence.
Ruff just turned around and said, what about a hold? I thought in the marking contest, the umpire said no.
Thank you. Play on. You. Nothing.
Bird. Clearing kick, but only as far as Litherland. Short one to Hill. Hill can go over the top to Shields if he wants. That will be play on. Almost got himself into a bind there. And a throw is ruled by Simpkin, sorry.
Well, they're the best pressure team in the competition, Sydney. They create more turnovers than anyone else in the game, and you can just see they're under pressure there. fighting hard.
Play on.
You can't just be wanting to feel the body of Buddy all the time if you're Litherland. You've got to also fly in the air with him. Birchall back inside to Hill. Could have squeezed the trigger to Hodge. Elected to go himself. Kick low to Bruce. Scoops it up magnificently. Tries to turn Smith inside out. Did wonderfully well, Bruce. Now to Gunston. He's capable of picking those up. Was that out in front of you down there, Lingy, or not?
Gee, it looked like it from this angle, BT. Looked like Bruce took that ball out. The umpire was right there. It hasn't hurt them too bad because it's ended up out of bounds, but to my eye, it looked out of bounds.
Well, you're in the perfect spot there to rule on that one. Third man up, Lewis, out the back to Roughhead. Roughhead snap around the body. Misses. Big time, desperate thing here. They need a goal, the Hawks. 22-point margin. Milcheski, the play on, and then the low bullet to Jack is just perfection. That's not a good handball by Jack. It hung in the air too long. Litherland's been pinged by Jack. Hodge went and got it and got rid of it really well because he could have easily just let it go and given away the free. Now Suckling with the kick around the corner, looking in there for Bruce. There's Puopolo, Simpkin as well. Gathers, back to Roughhead on the left. Launches a long kick across the face.
They've done pretty well. This is Luke Hodge, and he's always going to make you feel it in that situation, and so you should. You get the chance to inflict a little bit of pain on the opposition fairly. You're always going to take that opportunity. They've got a bit more of the footy here, Hawthorn. They've steadied a little bit, but when they go forward, you feel like for them to kick a goal, it takes some individual brilliance to pull it off.
Gee, they worried Milcheski out of that. Hill did well. Little handball, went for the fresh air soccer out of mid-air Gunston. You could just tell Milcheski was unsure. Well done, Hill. And have a look at this. I wonder whether he should have taken possession. Perhaps he thought Lloyd was going to be all over him.
At least they're getting some time in forward half now. They're putting a little bit of pressure back on the Swans.
This time Milcheski goes long, looking for Pike.
Touch, plan!
Hodge gathers. The left foot banana. Really well, gives Hawthorn yet another opportunity. Surely something out of one of these. Puopolo's kick smothered. Grundy, they attack him. Simpkin, fast hands Gunston. On to Bruce, the sharpshooter, goal! That's the one Hawthorn needed.
A great finish by Luke Bruce, but it was those repeat inside 50s. And if you get 3 or 4 in a row, eventually something's going to happen, and that man there, he doesn't miss. Left or right foot, just a class finisher around goal, and obviously a much-needed goal. And they're only 14 points down now, but the Swans have obviously been the dominant team. This team never goes away, and they're just starting to get back into the game a little bit. Well, that pressure, BT, of just inside 50s, 2 or 3 in a row. Eventually something happens. There you see 2 or 3.
The last 7.
It's the last 7.
Yep, really good. Now, Sydney to Franklin, off the hands, over the head it goes. Tippett trying to get the big legs working. Shields went and got it loose to Schoenmakers. Hodge, just in the nick of time, and now Gibson, beautiful kick. Great composure from Gibson. And Hawthorn starting to find something in the middle, a little bit too heavy and high for the little man. Puopolo in there. Parker's caught by Simpkin in the middle.
Thank you.
What about down there, Lingy? Can you sense the Hawks are just lifting back into this game now?
Oh, absolutely, Richo. They've got a bit of momentum, but gee, that's what Sydney do so well. That kick was just a little bit high, put the Hawthorn teammate under pressure. They've got to make the most of their chances, though, the Hawks, while they've got this bit of momentum.
Stratton to straighten them up. Shields gathers his own drop mark. Now the left foot, little one to Gunston, and Gunston will get a look from 35.
Great courage from Shields, back with the flight, no regard for his own safety. And this is what champion teams do. They lift off the canvas when you just feel as though it's all going against them, and that is a brave, brave effort. Anything could have been coming the other way, and then the composure to hit up Gunston was sensational.
Well, he's regarded as one of the best at this part of the game.
He normally keeps
Currently
these ones low, BT, doesn't he? These ones from about 25.
And he needs to here to get it back into single figures. And he's got it. Very well done by Gunston.
As Dar said, champion teams, they were gone 6 or 7 minutes ago. They've lifted. Their intensity's lifted. You can see the confidence building back in them now. And that man there, he just doesn't miss when he gets a set shot within 40 metres. You mark it down in your footy record every time. Jack Gunston, what a great recruit he's been for the Hawks.
Crowd enjoying it. Gee, you were right about him keeping it low, Richo. That he did. And they're back within 8 points, remarkably. They were down 20 and a bit not that long ago. And all of a sudden, they've found something.
BT, I mentioned before, they keep throwing different looks at the opposition. Gunston spent a little bit of time up in the wing. Now he's forward again. Brad Hill this time, starting as the forward, coming up to that extra number around the contest to provide that run. Always trying something different, the Hawks.
And Lingy Roughhead's gone into the middle as well.
Yeah, exactly. That big body in the middle, try and win a few clearances. They've got to make sure they take the ball back off Sydney here, though.
Got runners everywhere here at the moment. Jeddah's one of those. So is Smith. Now they get it on to Jeddah. He looks to try and straighten it up, but he's got a bit of a run and a jump at it here. Dangerous, as all he can do is work it forward.
Well, he's at the new frontier for Alistair Clarkson. We know he's always at the cutting edge. In 2008, he changed the way the game was played with his cluster. Is it rotating players on field maybe the thing that he's doing maybe more than anyone else?
Yeah, absolutely does. It's the real versatile players, knowing you can play forward, you can play back, we'll throw you on ball for little bursts, just always creating a bit of confusion in the opposition's mind.
Franklin through some traffic. Gee, Goods was dangerous from that stoppage.
Yeah, one thing Hawthorn do, which is Sam Reed's a little bit sore.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, that's nasty, those hyper extensions.
15, play on, play on!
So he's sore. In the meantime, Hawthorn on a mini roll, Suckling with a sizzler.
Play on there, go.
Birchall also very capable by left foot, unloads a long one. Bruce pushes off Smith, and he did it so well. Gee, Bruce was good at that.
Well called, BT. He's such a smart player. That ball was...
What about this composure? Sorry, Richard. To settle the candy, it's 3 metres out from your own goal with Ben McGlynn tearing down and kick it through the middle of the ground. It creates this opportunity for Bruce. It was unbelievable.
And then have a look at this, Stas. Did the work early. That's a smart player. He knew exactly where the drop of that ball was going to be. Gets Nick Smith out of the drop zone, takes a chest mark.
To get Hawthorn within 2 points. Wonderful comeback from the Hawks.
We built this game as the best home away game of the year, and it is turning out to be an absolute cracker. I mean, you just thought Sydney were going to roll over the top here, and this champion side, he is a superstar, Luke Bruce. Absolute star.
Just sensational football there by Luke Bruce. You guys have already spoken about it, but to identify where that ball was going to drop so early, running back with the flight, that skill is unbelievably difficult. Fantastic mark by Bruce.
8 minutes ago, Sydney led by 23. Now they lead by 2.
But one thing Hawthorn have got going this quarter is their kicking game.
Straight up.
At half-time, they had more handballs than kicks, but this quarter, they've got it right. 40 kicks, 20 handballs. That's about where they wanted to be.
Jordan Lewis, often the third man up. Tried a bit of a back heel then, Rough, I reckon. Hill, love to see that in the slow-mo. Parker in amongst it. Tackled high was Piopolo, umpire. Didn't get a clean look at it.
This side.
And you watch Rough around this contest, BT, you're onto it. They pushed him up the midfield, but he likes to get some momentum around the footy and then see if he can push forward and use his big frame to catch them offside.
We just got that one out there, Das.
Great little handball from Roughhead to Lewis. Now Burgoyne to do his stuff. On to Shields, high footy. Burgoyne's under it though. Rampy's there as well, and did well Cunningham. Sydney by 2 as we enter red time in the third. They've turned it over here. Stratton ran past it, Burgoyne won't. Fast hands onto Shields. Casually back inside, and Isaac Smith is marked. And in trouble is, I think it's Cunningham.
Yeah, he looks really sore, doesn't he, Cunningham? A little bit dazed. Let's take a look at what happened. Coming through, and just an accidental elbow straight in the temple. He might be a little bit dazed, Harry Cunningham.
We kicked one from this distance earlier in the game on the other side of the ground. There's that little black eye, courtesy of Ruffy at training.
No trouble with the distance here at all. Isaac Smith comes in and gives it the full belt. And Hawthorn have taken the lead at the 21-minute mark of the third.
What a great kick by Isaac Smith. Geez, he can roost the football.
How sweet did he hit that?
Yeah.
That was the most
launched it.
Beautifully timed footy.
How's the comeback here? They've just gone bang. Hawthorn, they were challenged. I thought they were gone after Adam Goods kicked that second goal. Went out to a 20-point lead. At that stage, it was 10 inside 50s for the quarter to 5. Now it's 12 to 10.
Eight minutes, 4 goals, the Hawks.
Most sweetly timed drop punt I've seen in a long while. That went through above post high. Have a look at the live ladder as we speak now. Hawks just 2% off top spot. About 8 minutes ago, they were 2 games behind the Swans. That's how massive this game is in the context of this season.
Still 6 minutes remain in the quarter.
Top 2 positions. That's what the top teams want. They want those home finals guaranteed.
McAvoy, Litherland, back into Birchall. Long looping handball. Shields to the run of Lewis. Good user is Lewis. High ball to Segler. Always going to be different. Simpkin went for the all-or-nothing soccer off the ground, and now Goods to repel. Found Kennedy. He's been pretty well held tonight. Kick up forward to Buddy. Pushes off Gibson. Then gives him a foot race. Buddy, as easy as you like. That is unbelievable stuff. To turn a defender like that around.
How many players been able to do that? Absolutely none. He does it so often, turns his opponent inside out, and when he has the footy and he's running at goal with grass in front of him, it's good night. Quality finish, and didn't he enjoy that, the big fella?
What about the celebration? He's turned his good mate inside out, but he loves it. Now the ladder. Hawthorn all of a sudden 2 games behind Sydney. This is how important this game is.
Jetta out of the middle. Seesawing on the ladder and seesawing in the contest here with Tippett.
Yeah, those centre breaks when these guys have one-on-ones inside 50. And well done to Sam Reid. He's in the ruck, and that was a perfect pass.
Sorry, Richo.
Gee, you love them as a full forward BT.
Absolutely.
You don't have to break stride onto a chest mark.
Tippett got that strange little sideways step when he starts like a crab, and then he comes in and kicks it out to the right-hand side. By the way, Sydney are 7-zip outside of New South Wales this year. In fact, their 3 losses have all come up in Sydney. Mitchell, 4.5 minutes. Sydney by half a goal. To Birchall. He unwinds a long footy. Bruce says to his teammate Gunston, "You go." Melcheski sweeping off the front. Precise to Kennedy. Fires the handball to Cunningham. Gets it onto Reid, who's recovered. Little one out the corner of his eye. Eventually got hold of it, Parker. Handball over the top. McGlynn goes to the goal. And now Gibson reckons it's touch.
Oh, he does too.
Let's have a listen.
Josh, hang on.
Sorry, I believe it's a goal. Can we check if it's a touch, please?
Okay. Score review. Umpire's call is a goal. All clear. Please check it wasn't touched.
Review underway.
They're pretty hard, aren't they, to tell these ones?
Hey, guys, I reckon this is definitely touch. Even Ben McGlynn, after he kicked it, signalled to his teammates that he felt it was touch and would be a non-goal.
Well, gee, I reckon you could see the finger go back there. And he looked disappointed, McGlynn.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's got to be categoric, though, doesn't it?
Yes.
Is it, though?
Well, they're having another look. Let's have a look and see if we can get the finger from this angle. Does look like it goes back a little. Maybe I'm seeing things, Richo.
I'm with you. That looks like the finger
completed.
definitely bent back.
Call.
Yeah, no, it's not. You
It'll be a
can't
goal.
say it's categoric, though.
It's a goal to McGlynn. Not even he thought it was a goal.
Benny McGlynn just said something to Gibbo, too.
And Gibbo can't believe it. He knows he touched it. I'm convinced he touched it.
You know what I mean, though? The blurry
yeah.
fingers, can you say it's categoric?
Now, this is very controversial. Look at the McGlynn reaction. He's disappointed. He says it's not a goal. It's not a goal. He actually says to the umpire, that is not a goal. It was touched.
What's he doing, Benny McGlynn?
It's overruled.
You never ever not claim your own goal, surely.
Sportsmanship at its best
Well,
there,
it
Riddick.
was, wasn't
He's
it?
too honest.
Guys, really quickly, Hawthorn have made their sub. Alex Woodward on. Jonathan Segler, the man off for Hawthorn. So they've gone big for small.
Well, he's the first gamer, Woodward, and he's been held up by ACL problems and then a re-injury of the ACL. And guess what? He's wearing Max Bailey's number 39, who's also had massive ACL problems.
Yeah, he's a great story, this young man, Alex Woodward. His dad, Jeff, is a taxi driver. His best mate's Adam Treloar, is dominating with the Giants. So we wish him all the best in a big game.
Jetta to Buddy. And Gibson happy to see this over the line as he almost fumbles it over. So that was a big moment in the game. McGlynn puts Sydney 9 points up. There is Segler out of the game. And even with McGlynn admitting that it was touched to the umpire, that was not good enough to get it reversed.
Well, I think we all think it probably was, but you can't categorically say it was.
Zuckling, so should the player of the opposition team, should his evidence be taken into account? Richo. I mean, it's unusual.
It is unusual.
We've never seen it before. Here's Smith. Around one, around two, and bang! Isaac Smith.
Oh, that is a magnificent goal. Not many people take Lewis Jetta on from a standing start race, and that's exactly what Isaac Smith did. Jetta couldn't get him, and they just keep coming. Brilliant response. And Isaac Smith, who's gone head-to-head with Jetta, gets a nice little one back there.
Oh, unbelievable goal from Isaac Smith. 3 in a row here. Or, sorry, 2 in a row for Sydney, and then Smith responds, gets them within 3 points.
He's now got 3, Isaac Smith.
9 goals from both sides in the first half, and we've seen 9 goals from both sides just in this one quarter.
Too long in a tackle. Nah, held too long in a tackle.
He's one of your favourites, Isaac Smith, BT.
Oh, the long striding and fast running and long running Isaac Smith.
This man here is one of my favourites, Jordan Lewis. I think he's having a career best year. He's got another barrel.
He has, and it's gone deep, but this time Parker.
He's got great hands, Luke Parker. Really good mark he is.
Hang on, mate, hang on.
Parker elects the members' side. Crowd loving this game. This is a great battle. Hawthorn have looked on at stages and managed to fight their way back, and now it looks incredibly positive for them, just down by 3 points. Sydney have not lost out of Sydney this year or out of New South. Bruce took them on.
Oh, what a tackle that was there by Gary Rowan. No one has been able to get Luke Bruce down. His Don't Argue has been one of the best players of the day. Rowan lined him up, went for the hips, Richo. That's a big play.
pretty quick, Rowan, isn't he? He's one player you're going to struggle to get away from.
The way Ruffy was guarding the mark there, every inch was vital. Litherland to keep it alive, did well, and he goes the mongrel punt, but it's dangerous. Here's Roughhead. To put Hawthorn back in front. They trailed in this quarter, I think it was by, was it 23 points at the 8-minute mark?
Yeah, when Goodsey kicked his second in a row.
Hang on, hey, come on.
Now, to get them back in front, Hawthorn by 3 points.
Yeah, couple to Rough. He read the flight of the ball there, just so early.
Watching it? I know you're not, but I didn't see how the contact was.
Just fucking have a look at it later on.
That's what I'm saying. We'll put it in, okay? But just don't retaliate, okay? There's no point in retaliating, mate. Come on. Jeremy, I don't know what it was, mate, but settle down, right? Well,
A little bit happening here. Ruffy kicks his second goal, but Jack Gunston and Ruff have been having a little bit of a chat to the umpire. Gunston went down off the footy, and he's suggesting that he caught one, and they need to have a look at it. So,
Umpire said they would, but it'll be all too late, I'm guessing.
When do they look at it?
Yeah. Next week, Richo. Wow, this game is a beauty. Hawthorn by 3 points have got it at their forward end again. Burgoyne, Smith under some pressure out wide. Got it all to do as Cunningham here. Will want the boundary line, he missed it all. Birchall back into the first gamer. Woodward goes long, high and deep for Hawthorn. Off hands, Brad Hill into an open goal.
Great
was it a
tackle.
trip or was it a good tackle? Doesn't matter. Roughhead's got the crumbs and kicked his third goal. Hawthorn by 9 points.
What a cracking quarter of footy this is. How was the tackle for, I think it was Malcheski that brought Brad Hill down. Here it is. Little handball up, Ruff. He loved it here, Ruff. Look at that.
If you tackle a guy to the ground and he doesn't get rid of it, is that not legitimate tackle? And
I think carried forward and maybe didn't have the arms pinned. So I know what you're saying, BT, but I think I'm with the umpire, benefit of the doubt. He got the handball away quickly. Not only did he get it away quickly, he actually picked Ruffy out, put it straight to him. Ruffy's pump. We built this game as the match of the year, and we've seen the match of the year so far. It's been absolutely incredible.
first time this year that Sydney have conceded 7 goals in a game, in a quarter, sorry. 7 goals, 3 they've conceded to Hawthorn in this quarter. Laidler drops the mark. Now Reid, Puopolo forces the pressure, and Lloyd wide. So 4 seconds, there'll be no further score in this quarter. And Hawthorn, remarkably, after trailing at the 8-minute mark by 23 points, now lead it by 9 points. They owned the second half of that quarter. Stay with us. You just know, don't you, that this one's going to the wire. Hawthorn, 11-11-77. Sydney, 9-14-68.
Back to Jack Gunston, who wasn't happy with that man there, Jeremy Laidler. And there you go, behind the play. Down goes Gunston. Ruff, not happy from behind. He gives it to Laidler. Laidler then says to the umpire, did you see that? So just a little bit happening off the ball here.
Start of the last quarter, Hawthorn by 9 points. You would never have thought that at the 12-minute mark of the second quarter, or the third quarter, I can tell you. Out of the middle, Hawthorn now to Isaac Smith. Isaac Smith found space for Roughhead. That ball was magnetic-like. Roughhead will line up for his 4th.
That is an absolutely outstanding kick by Isaac Smith. He kicked it across his body. He knew what he was doing. And the fat side of the ground there's open to the advantage of Roughhead.
This will be his 3rd consecutive goal. Roughhead, just a casual approach. Game 300, great, game 200, he's kicked 4.
Great start. 4-4 now for Ruffy. Down the other end, Lance Franklin, 3-5. Gee, that's a handy little break. That centre clearance, it was really good. A quick handball receive to Mitchell. He gave it to Smith, who got a little bit of run and carry, and then an outstanding kick across. There's nothing Ted Richards can do with that.
Remarkably, Hawthorn by now by 15 points. 83-68. Roughhead has kicked the last 3. Hawthorn have kicked the last 4. Mitchell, great little touch in there. What about the handball while on the knees? To Hodge and now Birchall. Peel off they go. Shields straightens them up. Kick didn't quite have the depth, although dropping a mark that he would normally take, Teddy Richards. And now Gunston applying the tackle on Rampy.
Hey, Lee, Grundy being subbed, interesting. Ruffy's kicked 4. Can you work that out?
No, I can't. I'm assuming maybe an injury, though we haven't seen anything. There's no plan B now, so huge job for Richards in this last quarter. He's kicked 4, as you said, but he's kicked 4 goals for as well. Great tackle by Paul Piopolo. Again, that's why Clarko loves him.
He did look unhappy, Grundy, I reckon.
Yeah.
I don't reckon it's an injury.
This is why their forward line is so good, because it's a great mix. You've got the class of Bruce, the small forward. You've got the marking power of Roughhead and Gunston. And then you've got Puopolo doing this sort of stuff. Tackle, harassment and pressure. It's just a great balanced forward line.
So Puopolo for his second goal. Franklin having a couple of words just off to the side there as Puopolo now steps to the plate, and that will come back very, very nicely indeed. He gets his second.
Yeah, a little double cobra too from the Poop. He got the double arms out there. It's a massive crowd here, and as you'd expect, the majority Hawthorn, and they are loving this. This is just an extraordinary night for this great footy club.
They just clicked up again. And here's the kick from Puopolo, and he is wrapped with that. What a great feeling when you chase someone down.
And that kick puts them on top.
It does, BT.
Have a look at that, 139%. Now just by the barest. 21-point leaders, Hawthorn.
Mine. Thank you.
Did you ever run anyone down from behind like that, Bristle?
Probably not, Richo, is what you want me to say, is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Thank you.
5 Hawthorn goals in a row, although maybe so. Only joking. Jetta, Roughhead, all involved. Went and got it, Parker, spun out with no action though. Hawthorn really applying some Sydney-like pressure.
Well, this is a team with great character too, Sydney, who've just produced some unbelievable football. And now you're going to get a good insight into just what makes them tick. Are they able to find something the way this great Hawthorn side has done?
Hill didn't go back from Lewis. Ran into a little trouble, still had the composure to get it off to Lewis. There's the dangerous Shields running through with speed here. A little one along the ground. Bruce normally clean. A little clumsy there from Smith. Got away with it though. Lewis, sneaky handball, Gunston onto Mitchell, who's really cool and can do it on both sides. Good mark taken by Rowan.
Yeah, and I think Horst Longmire will be putting it on a few of their absolute guns. Joey Kennedy is a star of the game. He's only had, of the competition, just 15 possessions tonight. That one's going to be really tough to handle as well. Is he going to be pinned up by, gives him the better of the doubt there. Skipper McVeigh, just 13 possessions. Luke Parker has had an unbelievable year, only 12 touches. So there's some pretty low numbers from some of their really consistent players.
Now Chesky, only 12.
There is Kennedy.
You mentioned Kennedy, Das, as he fights for it there. It's Liam Shields who's done the job on him. Probably one we missed a little bit early on with the matchups. Shields has had the matchup all night, done a terrific job. Really disciplined for his team.
McAvoy saw here as well. Didn't attempt to jump there with Pike. Got to get going, Sydney. 21 points down.
Yeah, it's a massive win, Lee. As you point out, Liam Shields has had it 23 times, 5 contested possessions to kick. Joey Kennedy to just 15 is An unbelievable performance.
Play on.
Well done, Gunston. Off to Shields, around the corner along the ground. Bruce, little handball, a push away from Hill. And then a kick to the advantage attempted, and Rowan did well to drop back in the slot.
Play on. Line.
Here is the man that's been subbed onto the ground in Towers, just in his second game. Dean Towers. Got to make something happen here, Sydney. Mike Pike trying to get across to spoil Birchall. Good kick to Mitchell. A little casual, and now Richards at half-back. So can Sydney find a way through here as they have several attempts at it?
Thanks, Josh.
Just right at this moment, Sydney, you look and you think Dan Hanbury is that missing link, who's their great gut runner and always just finishes games strongly, and they're just not running quite the way we'd expect at the moment. They're really a bit stagnant.
Have a look at Nick Davis, the way he's hanging around, the runner for Sydney in the middle. Jetta drops a really easy mark, and difficult handball for Rampy. He made it look a lot better than it was. Laidler told to go and to kick it high around the corner. Still out there in the middle of the ground, Nick Davis, the runner for Sydney. Hasn't delivered a message yet, standing in the middle of the circle there.
Hold Jordan.
All of the action been going on around him. Josh Kennedy. Long over the head of Franklin. Gibson got some hands on it at the back. Jack just trembles it along the ground and finds the woodwork.
Go. Come in, plan.
So in the meantime, the Hawks back in business. Stratton's kick, perhaps a little lucky as Puopolo couldn't quite hang on to it. Did it come off the leg, or was that out of play? Umpire says throw it in. Roughhead doing the ruck work. Langford in there. Fast hands to Isaac Smith. On to Lewis. High ball by Lewis. Gunston trying to break loose down there. Burgoyne's there as well. Clever knock back into the corridor. Hill was a chance there for a moment. Now Lloyd under enormous pressure. Rampy's handball missed McVeigh.
Throw it in.
They just don't look like at this stage they're going to find a way out. Then we said that about Hawthorn at this stage in the third quarter. So who knows? Kennedy. Professionally done to the boundary line. Umpire Matthew Nichols says throw it in, no concern at all. Chance to settle, chance to regain their composure both sides here. McAvoy, the front spot, little palm down to Lewis, who was the meat in the sandwich.
Well, they just haven't been able to get the ball into the forward line cleanly in the last half an hour, the Swans, and that's dried up the opportunities for Franklin and Tippett.
Smith on his favoured side, hugging the boundary, didn't think about the goal, centering ball, but Rampy to Smith. Richards really slow. McVeigh, they get away with it here, Sydney. They need to penetrate. Towers did well to Cunningham. Hodge pressures him. Backwards with the footy. Rampy now goes down the line. Here's McGlynn closing on it. Can he keep it alive? He does. Clever knock to Reid. Handball back inside. Kick around the body. I think it was Kennedy, was it? Yes, it was. And Sydney have got the one they so desperately needed.
Yeah, nice finish by Josh Kennedy. Hasn't had a big night. We've just been talking about the fact that Shields has done the job on him, but back within 14 points, plenty of time in this game, and it's been pretty free-flowing affair in this second half, so the Swans have got plenty of time to make up that difference. How good was that by Benny McGlynn? Gets it back in. That creates the goal. Well done, Ben McGlynn.
So 6 of Sydney's 10 goals from former Hawks, Buddy, McGlynn and Kennedy. 6 of their 10. Back in the hunt, 14 points. Here's McVeigh. 12.5 minutes remain of actual playing time. Tip it over the back. Towers waited just a little. Stratton tried to charge through. Suckling under enormous pressure. Bird's got him wrapped up and knocked out.
Just wonder whether there's a little cameo left for the champ, Buddy. Look at the space they're giving him. It's his great mate, Josh Gibson, and all the forward 50. So it's good coaching. He's the one that you want.
Yeah, you can see Grant Birchall. He wants to get back in front of Franklin there now on the right of your screen.
Yet to touch it in this quarter, Buddy. I just wonder, like you do, Das and Richo, whether it's set up nicely for him. Litherland, handball backwards here to Franklin's opponent, Gibson. Birchall loves the left. And that's nice to Brust. The push off Melcheski almost propelled him, didn't it? Lewis and Mitchell combined. Need to tap at McAvoy, and he did so well. Now he's attacked by McGlynn.
Look at big boy.
Big boy against little boy. And big boy wins. Simpkin now. Bird went real hard. He wanted the high tackle.
Mine, no.
The umpire said no. No. Definitely not.
Straight back here.
Tried to get it to slide down. Did it well. Lloyd was in amongst it. Hill. Lloyd again. Handball. Fast hands Towers. So they're out again here. Tippett an opportunity. Here's Franklin. Franklin and Gibson. Look at the space between him. Plenty of time, Buddy. Does he try to turn him inside out? Yes, he does. Got away with it, although the look-away handball went straight back to Gibson, who had the last laugh.
Played it well, Gibbo. Just corralled him, didn't commit to him. Made Franklin make a decision.
Simpkin so often kicks important goals. 45 and closing. Misses.
Yeah, Buddy would have wanted Gibson to come at him here. See how he just corralled, kept him, stayed goal side of Franklin and forced the error.
Rampy plays on and goes out in the Towers direction, who did well.
Only his second game, BT.
Yeah.
Mature age recruit, played the VFL, his second year at the Swans, and told he's lightning quick. Shown a bit already.
Got good hands as a forward as well. There's Tippett. Only a 15-point margin. Another goal from Sydney, and it's just right on. In fact, it's right on now. Here is Towers. The man with the fresh legs. Got it to Bird. Inside to Goods. Goods so good in this situation. And there it is. That is just all class from Adam Goods.
It's been a little cameo night from Adam Goods, hasn't it? Just bobbed in and out at vital times, kicked those 2 goals. In the third quarter at the start, and what a classy finish that is. You knew that he was not going to muck that up. And it is game on. The last 2 goals now to the Swans, and you can just feel the momentum coming back their way.
It is now the 5th time that Adam Goods has kicked 3 goals this year. So he is in sparkling touch, and Sydney now within 9.
How brilliant that he's adapted his game, Adam Goods, with Tippett and Franklin there. He knows his role now, and what a game we've got here. It's just incredible.
Back we go with Hawthorn's end. This time Burgoyne run down by McVeigh. Here's Puopolo. Coming through was Smith. Puopolo all over him. And even the umpire's pee ran out of juice.
Straight back, boys. Come on, give me some room.
It was a bit of... Didn't quite have a full rotation left in it. Mitchell. Snap at goal misses. The lot. Hawthorn by 9 points. Plenty of time.
They've got the momentum now, the Swans, haven't they? It's their turn. There's Dan Hanbury.
Mickey O with him.
Geez, Mickey O looked a bit nervous, didn't he?
He did. Kicked the last 2, Sydney, as you say. Interception mark here by Burgoyne.
pretty handy guy to be having this kick too.
And he'll kick it from about 50. Now the mark's at 45. So Smith on his wrong left side, just not able to get it there. So Burgoyne, has he got the distance in him? From right on 50. This to get it back to 15 points. Punt road end. There's the task ahead. He lets it drift a little bit to the right, and then it comes back. Hawthorn by 15.
Silk. There you saw class. Been such a good player for such a long time. And Hawthorn picked him up from Port Adelaide, where he was an extraordinary player. I reckon he was the best clearance player in the competition there when he played in the centre bounce a lot, Dust.
Yeah, him and Matty Primus combined as well as anyone I think I've ever seen, Richo.
He's come to Hawthorn and just played a variety of roles. He can go into the middle, he goes down back. And you just want the ball in his hands. He doesn't make mistakes, he makes the right decisions.
Magic stuff. Hawthorn by 15, and what we believe is somewhere around the 73,000 mark in the MCG tonight. Is this enough for Hawthorn? What have Sydney got left? McGlynn, who's been ultra impressive tonight. High footy. Got a bit of space here. Working back was Towers. Off hands Goods. Wanted to take Litherland on. Kept it alive to Towers. Little handball in. Shot at goal. Didn't quite have enough on it. And Gibson. So Gibson down the line. Good crowd, good game, quality footy, two top sides. Mitchell, game not over. Still lots of time, 8 minutes, an eternity with the way these sides play.
Gee, this bloke's been outstanding tonight, Jordan Lewis. 33 possessions, a heap of clearances, a heap of contested footy, 7 inside 50s, really leading the way for the Hawks.
Birchall wants to go long and deep. Here comes Roughhead. Got to go here. They did. Laidler dropped the mark he probably should have taken. Simpkin with a little squeezing handball. Hodge around the corner. Off the hands. Gunston hits the post.
Well, Hawthorn's ability in the second half to restrict the marks inside 50 for Sydney's been the reason they got back in the game. Only 4 marks inside 50 in the second half, none in this last quarter. And a lot of it's because of the pressure and the ability they had up the ground to slow them down.
Yeah, and they've been able to free Gibson up as well. That last inside 50, it was Gibbo who got back there loose. He's an incredible coach, Alistair Clarkson. You could see at half-time, they didn't almost come out. They're about 8 minutes late because he really wanted to make sure they set up correctly.
One out, here's Tippett. Tippett goes, couldn't hold the mark. Schoenmakers. Now goes in for the ground level footy. Stratton, tackled by Jetta, thrown over the boundary line.
Oh, Hodgie just a little clip for his off-mate Butt on the way through.
Little handball, a little knockdown from Mike Pike. Lloyd, underground handball. Langford got in the way. Got a lot of players around the stoppage here, Sydney, and they find Adam Goods. Just about played on, did Goods. He's kicked 3. And this, obvious important, 72,760.
Thank you.
72,760 is a great crowd.
Is that the record between these for home and away?
Sure, the forecast tonight was 63. I'm not sure what the record is, to tell you the truth, Richo. Here is Goods, and he has nailed that. Sydney are back within 10 points.
What a brilliant role this has been for Adam Goods tonight. He's kicked his 4th goal, as BT just said. The Australian of the Year. And he's got plenty left in the tank, Goodsy. He's showing no sign that he's slowing up at all. Game 343 tonight. Oh. He looks as though he's moving as well as anyone out there.
Well, there's the crowd, 72,760, Darcy. That is the largest home and away crowd ever for a Swans game, home and away.
This is great for the year, BT, I reckon. It feels like this season's needed a massive crowd and an epic game like this one. And there's more to play out here in 6 minutes, but it's a real boost for the whole year, this.
Crowds are back on, and they are loving this contest, you're right. Been a lot of negative talk all year about the slight drop-off in Victoria. We know Adelaide has been terrific, and Perth just continues on. But this is just what we needed to get things back up and running. Bigger than expected. Good night of footy, two quality teams, and the result not known yet. With 5 minutes left, Kennedy inside 50. Hawthorn by 10 as Buddy closes. Now, they are very good at the stoppage work, Lingy.
They certainly expect a few of their key players, Kennedy in particular, to get on the move here. Plenty of momentum through. Goods lining up at the back as well.
And Hawthorn are all one-on-one. Look at that. They understood exactly what Lingy was saying there. Showing makers, the little Gaelic flip up with the boot. Langford took him on, tried to bust his way through. Kennedy went and got it, Melcheski. Fast hands, McVeigh keeps it alive. Still a chance here for Sydney. Goods. Off hands, Melcheski. McVeigh, here comes Tippett. Got a good run at it. Was able to spoil. Stratton takes him on. He was tackled to the ground. Really well done by McGlynn.
Ben, back here.
Yeah.
McGlynn saying he took him on.
Yeah, and he's got a bit of a point. You know, when you decide to burst through a tackle, he's had a great night tonight, Benny McGlynn.
Gee, that was almost a great bit of ruck work by Sam Reid.
Oh, he's tackling his heart out, is McGlynn. Laidler working back bravely. Off hands, picked up by Woodward. He kicks without great direction. And now Rampy. Not sure what to do. Took him on. Needs to find a target. But he just tries to go over the top of Puopolo like a big tractor.
Oh, they're out now, Hawthorn.
Birchall. Smith has got to save the day. Couldn't keep his feet. Brust back inside. And not what he wanted, Rowan. Still under pressure, McVeigh, wonderfully done to Lloyd. Smith. Just a mistake away from losing the game for either side. Mike Pike somehow to Melcheski. Melcheski a ripping ball to Kennedy.
Holding the man.
And a free to Kennedy. Kennedy goes wide to Jetta. Mitchell tries to close the space. Didn't worry about turning him inside out. Here go the big boys, Buddy Franklin or Goods. Goods couldn't mark and almost did.
Oh, he had a good piece of that, Goodsy, didn't he? He's having a little look at the umpire.
Didn't control that.
Let's have a look. Umpire just said didn't control that.
Oh,
so close.
Hawthorn by 9. Pike couldn't hold the mark. There is Buddy McVeigh.
How good is he at ground level, Franklin? The clean pick-up and the handball off there.
The coaches under enormous pressure.
Got to tweet Josh Jenkins. Is Franklin the best ever tall forward at ground level? Elite speed, power and agility. Well, you probably got to agree with him there, I reckon, Das.
Hard to argue with that.
Well, I wouldn't count yourself out of that, Richo. I thought you were pretty good at 6'6" and 105 kegs.
No, Franklin at ground level, his work is the best for a man his size ever.
McAvoy, big boy.
That's the difference for me between that man being a really top-line player,
McAvoy.
Yep, if he can stand up and just, 4 or 5 big, strong marks a game, he can turn himself into a very, very important player.
So Suckling to Burgoyne.
Just going into a bit of control here.
Well, 3 minutes now, Richo, and 9-point lead. So you're happy with this style of action?
It's a long time. Lingy, too far to go, isn't it, to try and control it?
Yeah, it is, but I don't mind them just, if they've got those free targets, taking 30 seconds or a minute off, but you don't want to go backwards with those kicks and end up way back deep in your defensive 50 and risk turning it over and costing you a goal. But Hawthorn plays, they're experienced enough. It's going to be a free kick to Hodge. That's a costly free kick to give away there for the Swans.
Luke Hodge. Time, Donis.
The other umpire telling Chris Donlan to blow time as the ball was waiting to come back, and now they're into real control here. Hawthorn, Burgoyne telling everyone to get forward. Just showing makers, this is where Lingy says they must continue to go forward and not backwards. Suckling, they tried to do that. Smith did well, 2.5 minutes. Hawthorn by 9 points. Smith stands and delivers. Goes long and deep. Sydney have got to get it and go, but can they get it? Puopolo towards goal. Getting back was Richards. The extra point makes no difference because they're going to have to kick 2 goals.
Yeah, they just got to be bold now, down the middle.
And he does that. Tippett's got to go, tries to come over the top, off hands. Kennedy snuck the handball out. Hawthorn line up though. McAvoy to Birchall. Birchall a sneaky little footy and found Hodge.
How good have the Hawthorn leaders been in this final term? Hodge has had a heap of it. This will be possession number 28, but a big last quarter. Lewis, Mitchell, but all their big guns, Richo, really stood up.
Yeah, and they had to do that. Malcheski had to go long down the middle, but the risk of that is if you don't take a mark or maintain possession, there's going to be numbers out back inside 50, and that's exactly what's happened here.
To seal the game for Hawthorn, the skipper from 40. Minute and a quarter left. Hodge has done it. Hawthorn by 16.
Yes, they're pretty happy. Team at Hawthorn, you just saw the former Premier and the former President, Jeff Kennett. We spoke to him pre-game, Richo. They're loving this.
And they should be, because they've had some concerns this year. They've had injury trouble to key players. Look at Clarko. He is absolutely wrapped. Key players out at different times, but they've been able to maintain their winning form, and they'll be on top of the ladder tonight.
Yeah, what an amazing round of footy we have seen. Big upset last night, Richmond over there in Perth. Upset today with Brisbane getting over Gold Coast. It just continues. I think a lot of people would have expected Sydney to win tonight. And somehow, even when they were 23 points down, some 13 minutes into that third quarter, we all thought they were gone. They've dug themselves out of a really deep hole. Franklin looked particularly dangerous early. Jetta around the corner, and McGlynn has played a cracking game.
Yeah, one of a handful of ex-Hawks, Ben McGlynn, Joey Kennedy and Buddy Franklin. Three pretty handy players, aren't they? Used to play for Hawthorn.
If he kicks this, Sydney will go back on top of the ladder at least. So close is the percentage. And he does kick it, so Sydney go back on top.
Well, he's had a good game, Ben McGlynn. Pretty all-round performance from him tonight. 3 goals. Does all the hard stuff, though. Does all the tackles, chases, harasses, and there's the ladder BT was talking about. Look how tight it is. 0.8%. The Hawks would love another goal here, then out of this centre bounce to go back on top.
Well, minus 10 points down. Hawthorn are going to win. Only a few seconds left in the game, but what a cracking game it has been. These two are going to go deep into September. Hawthorn to get some players back in their side as well. Smith, Langford, and standing strong was Smith. 5 seconds. So there'll be no record for Sydney. Hawthorn win by 10.
We're a happy team at Hawthorn. We're the mighty fighting Hawks. We love our
Let's get down to Cameron Lee with Jared Ruffhead.
Well, Ruff, what a game of footy. What a win.
Oh, yeah, mate. Yeah. One of those games, first v third. Equal top now, you've got to be happy with that.
The quality of the footy was just outstanding, wasn't it? At one stage, we thought you guys were gone, then you came back, hit the lead comfortably. Sydney came back at you. Just fantastic football.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we knew their third quarters, they start off real well, and we just had to hold them, and in the end, we're a pretty good last quarter side and last second half side, so hung in there, and yeah, good to see that we finally got the win.
Well, congratulations on your 200th game, and what a way to celebrate it, not just with the win, kicked 4 goals yourself. You just look very relaxed, like you're enjoying yourself tonight.
I was a bit scratchy earlier. I think I had 1-4 at one stage, but yeah, to kick 4 and get a win like that, got to be happy.
Well done tonight, mate. Sensational effort.
A lot of orange in that screen there, Dust. But he was great tonight.
A couple of the great redheads down there, head-to-head, Lingy and Ruff, and there's Buddy just catching up with some old mates. 200 games for Ruffy, a couple of premierships. He's had a brilliant career with a lot more to play out for the champ, and there's a heap of respect between these two great sides.
Yes, as Lingy is right in amongst the Hawthorn players. Let's go back down to Cameron Ling. I know he's going to grab Jordan Lewis, I think. Go ahead, Lingy.
I have grabbed Jordan Lewis because he just was sensational tonight. We're just speaking with Ruffy there. Just a great game of footy. The quality was high, the intensity was high. You've got to enjoy games like that, don't you?
Yeah, I think what you see when two good sides go at it, there's ebbs and flows. You know, they had a run on, we got a run on, and then it just sort of seems like we're in front right at the end, but there were some fantastic goals, you know, some fantastic contests all night, and I suppose that's why there's 72,000 people here.
We just wonder, I mean, Ruffy's 200th game, you're going to carry him off the ground. Are you up to doing it? He's a monster of a man.
I said the ruckman have got to do that. I can't carry on, but it's a fantastic effort to come back from what he's come back from. Achilles injury, it's not easy. So, you know, for him to do that and to persist and to play the way he's playing is a credit to the bloke.
And it must be nice almost getting the entire team back ready just for finals, getting a bit of momentum going. Great to have Gibbo back tonight. Just feel like you're building something in September.
Yeah, as you know, Lingy, I think the start of the season is important to get wins on the board, but you've got to manage a group through the whole year, and you know, it's where September we want everyone on the park and ready to go. So that's been the plan all along. It's good to bank wins while we can, but we're starting to get some guys back now, and they'll get some footy into them.
I'm just interested. I've just noticed your tape here. What's that sort of code going on there?
It's for everyone to work out. If you can work it out, I'll give you something.
Well done.
Even work it out.
Well done tonight, mate. Sensational.
Thanks, Lee.
Great job.
Thanks, mate.
Sydney were staying on the ground, waiting by there, just to Lingy's right-hand side, thinking the Beyond Blue Cup would be presented on ground, but that will be done down in the rooms, in the Hawthorn rooms.
Yeah, and they find their way off. Alistair Clarkson, he will be absolutely pumped, and great to see his health back. He's a genius, that man, able to create a win here under really difficult circumstances. And I think Lingy's got another star with him. Might head back down to him. He's got Jack Gunston with him.
No, I've got Isaac Smith with me, Darcy, the absolute running machine, and kicking goals too. That's a bit of midfield, bit of forward time.
Yeah, tried to get forward a bit tonight, and was lucky enough to snag a couple from 50, so it was beautiful.
Oh, mate, you were roosting them. The ball was coming off very sweet.
Mate, that's about the only spot I can kick them from on the ground, so no, it was good fun.
Now, Richo mentioned the cause of the black eye was one of your teammates, Jared Ruffhead. Can you tell us exactly what happened?
Yeah, no, we're doing a bit of tackling, and I went in to get him, and he just stuck his elbow fair in my face, and a few people have been saying it's because I didn't do the dishes, and my missus gave me a little cuddle.
You maybe a chance to get him back. You just put the hand up to carry him off the ground and then accidentally drop him?
Mate, I couldn't lift him, he's that big.
Well done tonight, mate. Great effort.
Thanks, Lee.
Well, a 13-4 record for the year for Hawthorn, and as you say, equal top on the ladder. Still a bit to be sorted through yet in the final rounds. That man's played game 200. And the little midget there, the extractor, Sammy Mitchell, having trouble with the hoist. He's lopsided. Lopsided by about 300 mil, I reckon.
What's Sammy Mitchell cheering off the big rough?
This has been a Fox Footy presentation.